On this episode of Livin The Dream, join Captain Jimmy and Luiza for part 1 of this 2-part series at the plantation on Crystal River, a place where no matter the season, the fish just won't stop biting.
Yeah, got my buddy Jim down here with me.
Fish on, fish on.
Oh, got him that time. Oh, that's a good one. All
The
right.
bottom is alive.
This is Livin The Dream with Captain Jimmy Nelson.
Oh yeah, that's a big king. Look at the size of it.
Presented by Salt Life. Live salty.
Ooh, good fish. And that's what she was fighting all that time. Man, what a fish. Wow. Doesn't get any better than Baja. Yeah, boy! That's a kingfish right there! Woo! And today, of course, we're fishing out of the plantation on Crystal River, which is one of my favorite places to fish because it's my home waters. And I have a big advantage fishing in my home waters because I know this area, and we typically have great days when we go out of the plantation on Crystal River.
I'm getting lost in old emotions we left in the past, and it feels so strange.
Right after we pulled up to the first spot, Luiza and I both dropped down a jig, and we both got hit.
Oh, yeah, I got one.
Gosh, I just got
fish
cut
on.
off. Just
This
got
is
cut
what I
off.
saw earlier. Woo!
King got me. I'm glad you stayed buttoned up. You might have a grouper.
I hope so.
Wow.
On that 3.5-ounce Palomar jig.
Could have had a
couldn't
double to
resist
start
it.
it off. I got sliced through, and yep, you got a grouper.
Oh, yeah, that's
there
a
you
good way
go.
to start.
All right. Don't know if he's gonna make it. It's a good start though. Just got cut off by a king, and she got a little red grouper.
That's a good way to start.
It's on the Palomar 3.5-ounce jig too. Is that what you
Yeah.
were saying? That's what size you're using?
Yeah, 3.5 pounds.
Perfect.
They seem to like
Man,
it.
he got it hooked in there good. And there it is. That's what is happening on. Little guy. All right. Oh, he's on the surface too. Fish on. All right, well, I just started trolling a couple of these C&H lures. I got a tuna tango here, and I was hoping for maybe a king or something, but I'm not sure what I got. It didn't make a long run like a king does, even though I have a fairly stiff drag on here. All right, well, here he is. Not a king, but it makes good bait. That's a little bonita on the tuna tango. That's what we're doing, and this is one of the rigged and ready ones that C&H has, so it already comes with the wire cable and stuff. It's perfect when you're going for kings, and we're gonna go ahead and throw that guy in the cooler, keep him for bait later in case we drop some stuff down for some grouper.
Oh, fish on.
Good job.
Woo! Wonder what could he be? It's right
Looks like a
here.
grouper. Another
Looks
red.
like another red. Ah, this one is little. It's a little guy. Little guy in a Palomar jig again. They seem to really like this. I'm gonna let this guy go. Little one. Yeah.
Oh, got him that time. Oh, that's a good one. All right. All right, guys. Well, we're back out here out of the plantation on Crystal River, and we're doing a little bit of grouper digging today. Grouper's in season for another month or so, and that's what we got. It's a gag. Oh, and he might keep. It's gonna be close. Well, I don't know. I think that one's gonna keep without any problem, actually. Pretty good sized fish, and on this one I just used a frozen thread fin to test it out. Decent fish, man. Real pretty fish. They got to be 24 inches to keep out here in the Gulf of Mexico. And I think he's gonna make it, but we'll go ahead and stick him on the tape and see what happens. Oh yeah, there's your first keeper. And on a grouper, of course, you measure with a pinch tail the longest distance. This one's almost 26 inches. Plenty big enough to keep. And check these teeth out here. A lot of people don't know how sharp groupers' teeth are. But you see that? You get your hand in there. It is not like lipping a largemouth bass. It will rip you up.
Livin the Dream with Captain Jimmy Nelson is made possible by Salt Life. Live salty. Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler. Sea Deck. Your boat deserves Sea Deck. ACR Electronics, the science of survival. And by American Fishing Wire. A family-friendly resort, the Plantation on Crystal River, Jimmy's home away from home, is located within short reach of the Crystal River National Wildlife Refuge and Hunter Spring Park, to name a few. The hotel itself boasts its own pool, a couples retreat spa, and its own restaurant. Its own shopping center. It even has its own hair salon. And just a moment's walk from the door is the Plantation's very own golf course. Housed by the peninsula, the Plantation sits just feet from the marina, which allows guests to dock their boats with ease. And the ride to the open water is even easier. Whether you're bringing your family or an entire wedding party, the Plantation on Crystal River is the perfect venue for just about any request. For more info, visit www.plantationcrystalriver.com.
All right, so what I'm about to do here is rig up this live bait rig for kingfish. We're actually using frozen thread fins on it, but this is a C&H Lures live bait rig rigged with the AFW hard wire. It's just a 1/0 J hook in the front and a treble hook in the back. Some people like the double treble hooks. I prefer the J hook in the front just because when that J hook does get in their mouth, it stays a lot better than one of the little treble hooks. And comes really nicely rigged for you, so you don't have to go through all that hassle when you're on the boat or rig a bunch of stuff the night before if you're busy. And they do them very well. And after I get that unraveled, I just, they already have a really nice swivel on there as well. All I gotta do is just tie a uni knot, get it on the line, get my bait on it, and send it out. And on these, the way you're gonna wanna rig them is you're gonna wanna take the J hook and put it right there through the nostrils. There's a couple different ways you can do it, but I found that's the best way. And then this hook, you can just leave it trailing behind. A lot of people do that. Sometimes you can just take it and tuck it in there on the tail, especially if it's about the same length like this one. Either way will work. And makes your rigging process on the boat a lot quicker because it's already set and ready to go. And we're just gonna leave that sit behind the boat, hope a kingfish comes by and picks it up.
And then after that, Luiza hooked into a lane snapper, which is really cool because we don't catch a lot of lane snapper around here.
A lot of action there.
There you go.
Got him.
Good job. You're down there, huh?
They're definitely down there. The bottom is alive.
Oh, nice. That's a big lane snapper. Look at the size of that lane snapper she just caught. Not the grouper we were going for, but wow, look at the colors on it. And it's a big one too. Very good to eat. Looks similar to the mutton snapper, because mutton snappers have a dot back here too, but this is way different. They have a lot of really bright yellow stripes running down a beautiful red tail.
Of course, we have them in the middle grounds and in some deeper areas, but we don't get a lot of lane snapper in 50 feet of water out of Crystal River. We get them all the time in the Keys and the Bahamas and other areas like that in the Caribbean, but around here, it's a pretty nice treat to catch a lane snapper that size.
You usually see them in deeper water than 50 or 60 feet like we're fishing in. But yeah, great fish, Luiza. Well done.
Got it.
Good job. Man, you're on fire. I didn't even get to the bottom yet.
You're gonna get one too. As soon as you hit the bottom, they're there.
Yep. Get so much little stuff messing with it. Oh, what do you got there? Looks like a gag.
Let's see what this one is.
red grouper.
Dun-dun-dun. Another.
Red grouper snag.
Ooh, must be a lot of them down there. I snagged this one. Sorry, buddy.
There we go.
Got one?
That one's better.
See, I told
Oh, that
you.
was the one I was looking for, Luiza. Woo! Oh, that red grouper's making a mess.
It is.
Let's send him down.
Let's send him.
They got a big old gag coming up, I think.
All right.
He's not big, he's fighting like he is. Oh, I think I got another keeper gag.
Oh, wow, that's definitely a keeper. Good job, Jimmy.
They're here. Go! And he's kicking everywhere. Gag, then lane snapper, then red grouper, then gag. 4 fish in a row. All good quality game fish. There's a lot of little like grunts and stuff down there as well, little snappers that keep pecking. It's the size you want right there.
Livin the Dream with Captain Jimmy Nelson is made possible by C&H Lures. Be a winner with C&H Lures. Plantation on Crystal River, the place to stay and play along Florida's nature coast. Yozuri, fish the best. Cayman Islands Angling Club, come experience sport fishing in paradise. And by Tsunami, awesome tackle. Captain Jimmy and Luiza rose early at the plantation on Crystal River. They hit the Gulf, dropped anchor, and the fish were on. After his first gag, Jimmy decided to rig up the C&H live bait with AFW hardwire and let it sit behind the boat in hopes for a king. While waiting out a big bite on the rig, Jimmy landed another grouper. It was a keeper, but Jimmy's still hoping to fight a king.
Right as we were catching all of those grouper, the flatline just started peeling out.
All right, guys, now you're on.
Oh man, I knew it was a kingfish. I could tell right away that it was a kingfish.
All right. Flatline started running towards the front. Lucky you didn't tangle up the other rods. Think we got us a king. Oh, I hope so. Hope it's a good one. Digging. Woo! Got him, and that's why you keep a flat line out. Again, I got that C&H stinger rig, the rigged and ready stinger rig, so we didn't have to rig it. It feels like a good fish. The rod and reel that I'm using is a Tsunami 20 to 40 class rod, and I actually have this on their 8,000 reel because I like having a lot of line on a flat line. And this fish, I have a feeling, is going to take me to the front of the boat.
They put up amazing fights. They make long runs. They're really strong fish. They get close to the boat and they make more long runs. It's just one of those fish that I love catching.
You guys ready to see him? He's right here by the boat. He's right here under the boat. Oh yeah, that's a big king. Look at the size of it. We got a good one. That's a smoker. Look at that, guys. Look at that. You see how light this drag is? You got a big fish like that, you don't want to mess it up. Ooh, it's a good one. Don't give it any more line in. Just head down. Just head into the water. You might be better off back here, and I'll gaff right here.
Beautiful fish, Jimmy.
Woo! There he is. That's a smoker, guys. Look at that. He actually was hooked in the mouth. That's good right there. Get that gaff out of there.
Man, I like kingfish for so many reasons. They're such a cool looking fish. They have those sharp teeth, you know, like a manly looking fish. And of course they make great fish dip. And that's one of the things that Luiza and I eat all the time when we're at home.
There it is. Woo! Crystal River special. Grouper, grouper, snapper, grouper, kingfish. One after another, so many different species. And again, we would have never got this fish if I didn't have that flat line out. That's why it pays to keep a flat line out. Nice smoker, man. Good fish. That'll be fine smoked up as some fish dip right there. Look at the chompers on this thing. That's why we use that AFW wire. You can see right there, Those are some pretty dangerous looking teeth, huh? You don't want your fingers anywhere near that. You could lose a finger easy. Boom, there he is. All right. Cooler's starting to look pretty good. Got him. Oh yeah. One grouper after another. And that's why I love fishing at a Crystal River so much. Lived here a long time, pretty much my whole life, and used to catching fish just like this. You can pull keeper gags in one after another. There's nothing wrong with that. Do have a long close season. Have about a 6-month close season, and that changes year to year too. So definitely check your regulations of when it's open. But right now, currently, they close in December, and it's November right now when we're out here fishing. And another one that's probably a good 24, 25 inches. I'll measure them just to be safe. I do recommend always measuring your fish before you throw them in the box. A lot of fun though, catching them.
We dropped our lines down again and we ended up getting nailed right away.
There it is. All right.
Ooh, you're not kidding. Gosh, I gotta love this fishery.
It happens so fast. Oh, and guess what? It's
It
a little
is a
different.
red
Another species.
snapper.
Oh man. And you know, look at this, he's got, oh, the little remora fell off of him. I'm saying he had a little remora on him and it just fell off. This is not what we wanted to see, because when you see one, you usually start seeing a bunch, and the grouper bite is hot here right now. I'm hoping I don't have to pick up and move, because these little 16, 18-inch red snapper will start coming in by the hundreds once you get one. Pretty fish. Here he goes.
After an early rise at the plantation, Jimmy and Luiza headed out to open water to rig up for some grouper. As usual, the plantation's fishery has delivered more species than one, and the fish are coming in back to back.
Oh, yeah, I got one.
Gosh, I just got
fish
cut
on.
off. Fish on. All right. Oh, he's on the surface too. Oh, got him that time. Oh, that's a good one. All right.
Got him. Woohoo! The bottom is alive.
Woo! There he is. That's a smoker, guys.
Jimmy and Luiza have got the whole day ahead of them, and the fish are still on fire.
All right. Wanted to make sure he had it. Gave him an extra second there. And he got weaker, but it feels like a grouper. Yep, there it is. It's a grouper. Not quite big enough. Just an itty bitty guy. He's gonna get to swim away.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Oh yeah. Oh.
Good head.
Wow.
Good yank. There we go. That's a good one.
You got the fish I just had.
Yeah.
I think you
That's
just
a good
got
fish
it.
right there. Oh man, you gotta really slam it to him. Woo. Even with circle hooks or offset circle hooks, I still yank on a grouper because I want to bring them out of that rock as fast as I can. And this is a big fish. This is a real big fish. All right.
Good job, Jimmy.
Whoa! And he took back off. Oh my goodness. Woo! On a thread fin. Man. They're definitely out here. They're chewing good. Wow, what a fish. All right, I'll show you guys a couple ways to hold the grouper here. As you can see here, there's a groove below and a groove above that lip. You hold the fish just like that. It's usually a great way to hold them to keep your hands out of the teeth or the gills. Another way, if you do go in the gills, don't go in the red, because that'll cut you. And that white part on the inside of the red is actually what's really sharp. So you just slide it in on the outside of the gills, and you can hold it that way as well. A couple neat ways to hold a grouper there that'll keep you from getting cut up. Again, right there on the outside, or you hit those grooves on the top and bottom of its lips. Nice fish.
And I had my buddy Jim with me on this trip, so I brought Jim in to let him catch a couple fish as well. And Jim and I dropped our lines down, and then we ended up doubling up, and Jim had a really nice red snapper that he hooked, and I got a red grouper.
There you go.
First drop.
There you go, Jim.
All right.
Just pulled up to another spot. Luiza's gonna be jigging on the other side. And, got my buddy Jim down here with me. Pulling some grouper in. Oh, it's a red snapper. Not what we were looking for. But I got a grouper though.
Nice one, man.
Golly, if you could keep it. Look at the size of it. Wow.
Look at this thing.
Woo. Oh, and doubled up on a red. 2 reds, a red grouper and a red snapper. What a double. Yeah, well, he's got his on the back he's working with. This one I do not think is gonna make it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that one go.
The red grouper wasn't quite a keeper, so I ended up throwing him back in the water. And right as we were trying to get Jim's fish under control, Luiza hooked up on a jig behind us on the other side of the boat.
Fish on, fish on. On the Palomar jig.
Oh, nice. Oh, you got a big fish. I can see him down there shining.
Wow, it's a pretty good size red snapper, guys. On that Palomar jig, the 3.5 ounce Palomar jig. Look at the size of this fish. Woo!
Oh, that's bigger than
Big fish.
big brother.
Jim and Luiza hooked in some really nice sized red snapper. I mean, those were big snapper for 40 to 50 feet of water.
That was actually a triple that happened. I just threw the red grouper back in, as you guys saw. Luiza hooked this one up on the Palomar jig, and Jim got one on some live bait.
Look at that.
Those are studs too.
For more fishing and diving action, follow along on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at Captain Jimmy Nelson. Livin the Dream with Captain Jimmy Nelson was brought to you by Salt Life. Live salty.